Hey there, it's Rachel Mullins, the host of hashtag No Filter Fridays on Public House Media.
Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Abraham Lincoln. Good morning. Today we're going to be talking about creating your own self-discipline in 2020 and doing so and creating the life that you want for yourself. God created you as a super unique individual and has great plans for you. I want to make sure that you're showing up for that. I want to make sure that you are being encouraged and supported and healthy in a sense of making sure that you know that you are created in God's likeness and that you can choose between what you want now and what you want most. And you can decide that you are going to create great things and that you're going to be a great person and that you're going to have the things that you want in life. And so why is it so hard to stay disciplined? Well, the answer is because we allow our minds to interfere with the path of being disciplined. It's really that simple. Like we allow ourselves to not be disciplined. The problem with self-discipline is that it's hard sometimes. And by its very nature, it means making choices that are focused on the end goal rather than the easy choices that are presented to us on a regular basis. So if you're struggling with self-discipline, I challenge you to take even just 2 of these tips that I'm going to mention today and really just focus in on a couple of them, so that you can start creating some self-discipline in your life and you can start creating some self-control and which will equal controlling of yourself and which will manifest itself into being the positive things that you want in life. So there's a lot of things that you can do to master your self-discipline in life. And I want to just share with you some 10 of them, 10 sensible things that you can do. Self-discipline is the ability to control yourself in whatever situation you find yourself and to make yourself work hard or behave in a particular way without needing anyone else for you to do it. But what I would say is that to get there, you have to have some support in the process. So self-discipline means self-control, which is a sign of inner strength and control of who you are. And, you can really find those things a lot of ways by, really determining how you react to situations, really finding a support system and being encouraged and utilizing the things that you're going to learn here as a way for you to reach your goals and for you to be the person that God created you to be. So is having discipline a skill? Is it something that you can learn or is it something you're born with? Well, I would argue that it's a skill. I would argue that it's something that you can definitely, you're born with some certain willpower in life, but you can achieve anything that you want to achieve by putting your mind to it. And self-discipline is that superpower, that skill, that trait that you can harness and really learn how to create your life that you want in this world. So how are ways that you can do this? How can you master your self-discipline? Well, let's start talking about those. Number 1, know your weaknesses. When you are aware of your weaknesses, you are aware of what it is that you need to work on. And, by knowing what your weaknesses are, it's actually a super good thing. They can give you a lot of insight on where you need to be more confident or how you can develop new patterns of behavior, what it is that you want to improve in life. And knowing and being aware of your weaknesses is a great way to ask your allies, your greatest support system in life, to create that group of community of people who want the best for you. And you can ask them what they are, or you can figure out together what they might be. But being aware of what your weaknesses are really gives you a chance to figure out what it is that you want to work on. The second thing is to, monitor yourself. Self-monitoring is a great way to get great feedback for yourself and to really become aware of what it is that our behaviors are creating for ourselves. Knowing what your weaknesses are, like I talked about how when I started this health journey, I was starting with the fact that I know my weaknesses, that I don't like to get up early, but I knew that I needed to get up early if I was going to be able to make some of these health changes. So I found a community of support system that was making sure I was getting up early. I created other habits that were going to help strengthen my weaknesses. And I was able to, because I knew that weakness of I don't like to get up early in the morning, I was able to create an action plan to overcome those things and find a support system. And then it became, I was showing up for them more than I was showing up for me. And it's a great thing when you know your weaknesses and that you can create a plan. The second thing was self-monitoring. And when you can really start to focus in on the things that are going to help you get feedback around those areas. You're going to be able to self-monitor and become an expert on your own behaviors. You have to know what your current reality is before you can figure out what your future reality is going to be. So try keeping a calendar and tracking everything you're doing. If it's a nutrition goal that you have this year, knowing all the food that goes in your mouth is going to be vital in figuring out how you can make those changes. So whatever it is that you're working on this year, track it, talk about it, the good, the bad, the ugly. Make sure you start seeing a pattern in the work that you're doing, in the ways that you're showing up in life. Maybe it's a certain time of day that you start to get grumpy, or it's around a certain group of people that you start to feel that you're not yourself. Whatever it might be, start looking for the patterns of your life or the things that you want to change, and you'll be better equipped to change them as you go forward. The third tip I have for you is take notes on the good, right? Our mind keeps notes of everything that we do in life, indirectly or not. And when you are focusing on the things that you're most happy with, that's where you're going to be able to find the positive energy. So whether it's social media, whether it's fake friends, maybe it's peer pressure, maybe it's ego, or doing joyful things, the mind indirectly gives us a signal to do those tasks again and again and again by releasing dopamine in their brain. And so I would encourage you to start releasing dopamine on healthy habits more often than the negative ones. And you're going to start seeing a rise in self-discipline. You're going to start seeing what you focus on, you create more of. What you focus on, is what you manifest. What you want in life is what you should be focusing on. And then you'll go there. And I've been doing this manifest challenge with Gabby Bernstein, and she would even say that when you say the things that you don't like, or you phrase it in a negative way, you're really manifesting the negative. So if you say things like, I don't want to swear anymore, your brain doesn't process the negative. It just says swear more. And that's what it's going to do. If you're focusing on, I hate my job, I want to get out of it, you're focusing on the hating your job part and leaving the job instead of looking at the good things that are there. And instead of manifesting, I want a positive environment to grow in and work, you could say that versus I hate my job. When you're focusing on the negative, you're going to bring more negative into your life. When you focus on the good, you're going to bring more good into your life. So focus on the healthy habits in your life and release the dopamine in your brain around those things, and you'll start to see more of them. Number 4, control your temptations. Now, this one seems easier said than done, but controlling your temptations to master your self-control and self-discipline, because if you want to maintain your self-discipline, then you need to control your temptations. Don't satisfy yourself with temporary pleasures when you're alone, and stay hungry for success when you're starting to feel more confident. It's really about figuring out what it is that you want out of life and going after those things. If you are being tempted by negative foods like sugary foods or high carb foods or whatever it might be, remove them from your house. If you are tempted to do certain things with certain people, remove or limit yourself to those types of people in your life. Whatever it is that you are struggling against, you become aware of your weakness and you're starting to create this habit of self-control. Put yourself in the situations where you're going to have success and control those temptations and remove those temptations from your life. Number 5, you need insane motivation. Now, this motivation piece, you definitely need to be motivated. And to start any task, you need to be motivated to do it. If you're trying to develop a fitness routine, or if you're trying to wake up early to do a new healthy habit, like maybe it's Bible reading, maybe it's getting active, maybe it's prepping your food, maybe it's whatever it might be, you have to have the motivation to get started. So surround yourself with people that are wanting to do the same thing you're doing. It will give you more motivation. It will give you more energy. It will give you more positive reason to do it. And so for the first 20 seconds of any task, you're going to need some insane amount of motivation to get you to do it. So find the things that motivate you, find the people that motivate you, and surround yourself with those people, and you'll find more motivation. Number 6, work on a passion project. Passion projects bring out a sense of fun and creativity, and they inspire us to do more things that are good for our lives. So when you can maintain that and carry those kinds of things through, find some time in your week, find some time in your day to really go after it, and really find something that really brings the light out in you. If you are doing something that stresses you out all the time, or if you're doing things that are always making you feel negative, you're always going to feel that way. But by even just spending 20% of your time on doing something that you love, a creative project, maybe it's fitness, maybe it's nutrition, maybe it's, reading a good book, maybe it's sewing, or crocheting or whatever it might be. I have some good friends that are really good at woodworking, and just doing that activity every day put that creative sense inside of him, and he's able to do those things and just release some stress in his life and create more self-discipline because you want to do more of those things, right? Number 7, move toward your goals in small steps. Everything great consists of small parts. Everything you do is one step at a time, and it's super simple. It just can't go straight to the top with anything that you're pursuing because you're going to burn out. It's going to get too hard. You're not going to have the willpower to keep going. But if you can create a habit by going one small step at a time, you'll be able to create that discipline that it takes to keep doing it. So when my team and I decided that we're going to read the Bible in a year this year, it wasn't so much of like, we're going to read as much of it as we can right away. No, it's creating a habit over time. So we're reading 4 chapters a day. That's it. 1 chapter in 4 books of the Bible every single day. And we're going to make sure we get through the entire thing by the end of the year. But we're pacing ourselves. We're creating a habit and a discipline in our life versus just doing the task. So I would encourage you to take your big goal that you have for yourself and go at it in little chunks. Go at it in small habits each day, and you'll begin to notice that your life is going to change for the good, and that your self-discipline is going to start to go up, and it's going to become contagious to get more things done in other areas of your life as well. The 8th tip I have for you is to make a to-do list with a power of 3. Moreover, to make your small steps even more attainable, make a list of 3 small action items that you can do to master your goal. When you start checking 1 to 3 things off your list every day, you're going to be able to see yourself move forward and move faster towards that goal. I know that when I make a to-do list every day, I sit and make a list of the things I kind of brain dump all the things I need to get done. And then I circle 3 of them as my most important priorities. And when I can do that, I can feel super accomplished. One, that I've gotten something that's going to move me towards my goal, but also it just makes me feel good that I've got the most important things done on my list. But if you can make sure that you are at least taking 3 things a day towards your goal, you're going to be able to get there a lot faster. Number 9, repeated practice is needed. So when I talked about this, making better decisions, doing all the things, it's making sure that you are doing everything daily. Repeated practice over time makes you better. Repeated practice is super needed when you're going to keep going. You're going to create a habit of self-control, and it's going to help eventually lead to better decisions. And if you relapse, you're not going to give up because you know that you can just get right back on the horse and keep going. So keep going with the process, even if you slip up, because that's going to happen. Because number 10 is to know that you're not perfect, that no one is perfect, and that we need to give ourselves grace. So if you are doing that, if you are, keep going no matter what happens, and understand that, God created you as a perfect individual, but we are all broken people, right? So making sure that our goals are attainable and not out of reach, and giving ourselves grace and knowing that we're going to struggle, but we are also creating habits, and remind yourself that you are great in God's eyes, and that you can do anything that you want if you want to do so. And it's just going to take some practice. It's going to take some time. It's going to take understanding that no one's perfect, and that you can do anything that if you really want it, and making a habit out of doing it with a power of 3, and breaking your goals into small steps, and to finding things to do in your everyday that you love, and that creating motivation by being around people that are going in the same directions, and limiting your temptations, and taking notes on the good things that are happening in your life, monitoring your habits on a daily basis, and understanding your weaknesses so that you can become the best individual possible in your own life, and going after the goals that you love and that you want in your life. I thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. Sorry that the podcast version on the Facebook Live went kind of wonky, but I'm so glad I was able to re-record and get back into this. And if you are here at Choose to Rise for the first time, make sure you hit like and love, and help spread the word. It warms my heart so very much to be able to have people share Choose to Rise with other people in their life. So taking the screenshot of the podcast, sharing that with other people, sending the link to someone else, letting them know that Choose to Rise exists. It's super helpful. I've been so honored and blessed lately to hear that Choose to Rise is one of the top 170 self-development podcasts on all of Apple Podcasts, which is so good, awesome to see what God is doing with this. And that's what I'm here. I'm here to help you rise up out of your current situation to live your best life, And we can do that, more of that, when you share and leave a rating review and help other people find us here on Choose to Rise. So thank you so much for doing that. If you ever want to support Choose to Rise, if you have a business that you want to be a part of sponsoring Choose to Rise, or if you just yourself want to help spread the word, that would be great. You'll find more information on the show notes. But just, head over to choosetoriseup.com, get connected with me there. Let's be in conversation today about how one of these tips or tricks, I'd love to know which one of them you're going to start tackling and help other people find that way too. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you soon.